Diddy is obviously far from the first person to take advantage of their power and money and influence in this way, and he will surely not be the last.
Yeah, again, it's just don't have heroes, kind of, especially when it comes to the music industry. Because again, holy, it's just like you can just go through the list. There's so many stories, and just over and over and over, where it's just like, yeah, this person, they seem like the nicest, greatest, you know, and the talent just speaks for itself. And then all of a sudden, it's like, yeah, but they were also trafficking children. All right, I want to learn about what happened to P Diddy.
Hey everyone, Anthony Fantano here, Internet's busiest music nerd, coming on here to talk about a pretty massive story that could potentially lead to the downfall of one of the biggest moguls in music of all time. That would be Sean Combs, aka P Diddy, FKA Puff Daddy, recently came out with a Grammy-nominated record, the Love album. Given that the first week sales of that record were pretty dismal, and there wasn't really much of a demand among my audience to cover it, I think that it may be in order to remind you guys just how huge of a figure P Diddy is. As the founder of Bad Boy Records, this guy not only was responsible for putting artists like Craig Mack and Biggie, as well as Mace, Faith Evans on the map, but he was a major part of mainstreaming hip-hop music throughout the 90s and the 2000s.
No question.
The guy has been behind a lot of massive hits throughout the hip-hop world over the course of his career, made a lot of very big, very correct, and essential calls in terms of putting on and popularizing particular artists. But then he took that success he saw in music and then leveraged it in a series of even more impressive business ventures in fashion, in alcohol, in video production and media broadly through Revolt TV. When it comes to being a mogul in the music world, few people...
Why are so many talented, creative people psychopaths? Like, I think with a lot of like super famous musicians and musician celebrities specifically, because like it was astonishing to me to grow up loving so many artists, everyone from like, you know, Dr. Dre to fucking Floyd, Zeppelin, like they've all got so much fucked up stuff in their past, and like you don't find that out until later. Like David Bowie was like one of my favorite artists as a kid. Michael Jackson, I think, might have been the first vinyl I ever owned, was Thriller. And like, again, just like, as you grow up and you learn more and more about these people, it's like, yeah, David Bowie, he was incredible. I know, like, what an artist, what an incredible poet, his lifelong career of creating just, you know, seminal art and albums, even the later ones before his death, and not to mention, you know, what he did for defying and changing our very concepts of gender and gendered expectations and what is masculinity, and can masculinity actually feature the feminine, and being like, you know, a pansexual icon in so many ways. And then it's like, yes, also pedo, because like he did sleep with a 13-year-old. And you're like, wait, what? Yeah, not only did he sleep with a 13-year-old, apparently it was the same 13-year-old that one of the lead guys from Zeppelin also had a sexual encounter with. I guess, yeah, it is rape, essentially, because, again, teenager. So, yeah. But at least there's nothing that anyone can say about the Beatles, right? The Beatles, I every member of the Beatles, you know, John Lennon, no one can ever say a bad thing about John Lennon. That guy is just a stand-up person. Give peace a chance. You know, war is over if you want it. Really important message. You know, John Lennon is probably, again, untouchable, right? Just a Jesus-like figure, a saintly, if you will. Yeah.
Exemplify that label as well as Diddy has, even if a lot of that cultural power and influence.
Oh no, I know. Don't worry, you're not shattering my world. I did that to WillNeff though. I feel bad. I dropped, this is I think like almost a year ago. This was before he was like super famous, but I dropped into one of his streams and he was just playing some of what he loves to do, share things that he loves with his chat, right? Like I think that a lot of streamers do. And he's just talking about how much he loves John Lennon and playing John Lennon's music and even the solo stuff, and he's just going off about the history of John Lennon and all this kind of stuff. And then on a certain point I was like, yeah, it sucks. He's such a, you know, horrible person, you know, the beats women and stuff like that. And then he was like, what? Oh no, did you not know that? Oh no. you could see it in his face as he was like Googling it in real time, and he was like, Like, I guess the lesson in all of this is separate art from the artists, and also don't have heroes. Those two things. I mean, if you want a crash course in that, just look at the streaming and the YouTube world. It seems like every other week there's like some new thing where someone's like, hey, by the way, you know that person who you think is amazing? Yeah, they did some fucked up shit. Don't worry though, there's gonna be a musical number about it. Ukuleles are coming out, you know?
Influence I was just talking about didn't carry over all that well into the 2010s and especially the 2020s. With that being said, though, Diddy has recently been put on the defensive through a series of recent allegations, the first and biggest of these recent ones being filed against him by former girlfriend Cassie Ventura. That whole thing ended up getting settled out of court. Similar allegations were made by other individuals, and those cases seem to have been treated much the same way. But this most recent court document filed in the state of New York against Diddy and a whole bunch of other defendants features dozens and dozens and dozens of pages of allegations that are absolutely off the wall insane, and I am not saying that to be hyperbolic or salacious or anything like that. Austin and I will link you guys to the court document down below so you can.
One of the more fucked up things I've seen since the revelations of all this is some people getting more upset over the fact that P Diddy may be bisexual. Like that is a discourse that I'm seeing online, and it's just like, it's like, that shouldn't matter at all. I mean, if that's all the story was, then okay, you know, that's like that ended up that we're talking about potential grooming. We're talking about potentially putting underage both boys and girls in you know, unwanted sexual encounters against their will to a number of you know, pretty high profile public figures as well. Like it's like when you start listening to all the things that P Diddy is being accused of, then this is not even talking about the more recent accusations of like sexual assault from his ex-partners, one of whom like has no financial incentive because I believe she married a billionaire after P Diddy, because that's often like, you know, the accusation you'll get is, you know, people will be like, oh, this is just for money or fame, that's why all these stories are coming out and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, well, that story kind of is moot on this situation because yeah, this individual is already very, very rich and famous, so there's that.
And see it for yourselves. Now, it's quickly worth noting that this is obviously not the type of content we cover on this channel on a regular basis. Call me old school, but I just personally see things like articles and text-based journalism as a superior place to deal with and spread important information around sensitive topics like SA. However, these recent Diddy allegations reach so far beyond that and implicate numerous individuals that will honestly leave you scratching your head. And just the layers to the story told in these court documents, it's really on the level of a Cosby or a Weinstein or an R. Kelly type situation where there's lots of individuals who are aware of everything that's going on. And because Diddy is this very well-known, powerful figure with a lot of influence, a lot of power, a lot of money, everyone's just kind of allowing it to happen, taking part. The documents themselves literally liken Diddy to Epstein. It's like on that level of control and conspiracy and manipulation. And again, if you go through the details of these allegations, you will not only see proof in images, proof in video stills, but also bits of stories dealing in grooming, coercion, assault, blackmail, trafficking, illegal drug use, prostitution, stuff involving minors, putting drugs in drinks, presumably without people sort of knowing, violent threats, even illicit sexual acts involving a few names that were redacted, but once you actually kind of read the Cliff Note info on these individuals, it's kind of apparent who they are. In section 71 of the court document, there is a rapper whose name is redacted, but then shortly under that, it says he is a Philadelphia rapper who dated Nicki Minaj. Not sure we need to put two and two together on who that might in fact be. Also,
That tweet. I've also seen so many variations of people like accrediting this to other people. I don't think anyone has done a Hillary Clinton one yet, so there's a freebie internet. But it's almost become like a copy pasta at this point. If you haven't seen it and this is your first exposure to what this is, I'm not entirely sure. I don't, but yeah. I like this one. Pussy don't control me, but it's like a high. One love to the gay people, but that juicy pussy do it for me. All right.
Might in fact be. Also an R&B singer too, whose name is redacted, but it says he performed at the Super Bowl and had a successful Vegas residency. Sure. There are other figures whose names and likenesses are not redacted at all in these court documents. People like Cuba Gooding Jr., as well as one half of the City Girls, Young Miami, who's been public with Diddy for a while now.
I didn't know about Cuba Gooding Jr.
Surprised that she would be witness to or part of any of the debauchery that's being talked about in these documents. Getting ahead of myself, I would like to say that
that's too bad. Was he like one of the witnesses or one of the victims or allegedly of P Diddy?
The allegations in these documents are being made by a music producer who worked with Diddy, specifically very closely during this Love album era, literally living with him for quite a time and contributing to a good handful of songs on the Love album record. However, when you actually look at the details of these court documents, it's very clear that a majority of his time living under, Diddy's roof, he was not spending it working on the record. He was instead spending this time being treated like absolute trash.
Now I'm having that moment, the one I was just talking about with WillNeff. We're just like, wait, no.
And being coerced into doing a ton of things that are not only illegal, but he clearly did not want to do if, again, his side of the story here is 100%. I will tie this video up to say that the story being told here is one that doesn't feel all that unfamiliar these days in the music industry. It's an absolute power corrupts absolutely type situation for sure. Diddy is obviously far from the first person to take advantage of their power and money and influence in this way, and he will surely not be the last. Allegedly. But finally,
again, it's just don't have heroes kind of shit, especially when it comes to the music industry, because again, holy fuck, it's just like you can just go through the list. There's so many fucked up stories, and just over and over and over, where it's just like, this person, they seem like the nicest, greatest, and then the talent just speaks for itself. Then all of a sudden it's like, but they were also trafficking children.
Not all of the details of these allegations need to stick in order for them to take down Diddy, because they're so huge and so far reaching. Even only a fraction of them.
What did Tom Waits do? I'm gonna have to look up all these scandals.
Could be totally provable and true, and it would deeply and massively diminish his power and influence, not to mention the potential legal troubles to follow as a result of this, because the vast majority of everything being documented here is so incredibly illegal. Literally name an illegal thing and it's turning up somewhere in these pages. That is how bad it is. So again, the court documents, the allegations are linked down below for you guys to check out yourselves, and let me know down in the comments what you guys think of all of it. Anthony Fantano, P Diddy.
No, Tom Waits is fine. Okay, one person's okay. Okay, one incredibly talented individual. I don't see anything. There's no controversies. There's no sexual assault or anything in the Wikipedia. I'm scrolling to the whole thing. I think Tom Waits is cool. Tom Waits is still cool. All right.
No, not good.
Yay. Yeah. Did nothing, thankfully. Okay. All right. I'm walking away from this. This is going to get too depressing. We're just going to start listing names and someone else is going to be like, oh, yeah, that person. Yeah. Oh, no, they're the worst. They're the absolute worst. They're fucking, they're garbage.
Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Can you please hit the like and subscribe button and maybe leave a comment? It really does help the videos out. But first, the people who produce everything you see before you and make this entire channel possible: Amazing Fletch, Anna Loves Riley, Ariane McCarthy, Cheryl Alvarez, Doug Caddy, Everything Important, Hagbard Salim, Multi Mondi, Omni, Peanut Butter Blondie, Political Puppy, Quiet 185, Rachel K, Riley and Anna, Roller Dragon, Ruby K, Cernicus, Spinach Monster, Stellar Vision, Sebastian Demel, Trevbot.exe, Words Greenwood, and Travis McClinton. And also, thank you to every other person who helps fund this show. Their names are on the screen right now. It would not be possible without every single one of them. We cannot thank you enough. And if you want to join the Patreon, please come to patreon.com/theserfs and help us exist.